wanna sing, but I can't speak. I'm paralyzed when you're next to me, running on dreams, 'cause I can't see how this could be reality. You're holding me close, but I don't know. Do I let you in? Do I let it show all of my fears and all of
It's Tuesday. I'm still Rick Alexander, and this is Still Morning Coffee. I love you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying these shows. As always, if you are digging it, share it with a friend. Give us a 5-star review on iTunes, and it really will mean the world to me. Today's subject it's something that I've struggled with a lot, because I'm so driven, as most of you that listen to the show probably are. And at the same time, there's parts of me that always seem to be at war with myself. There are parts of me that seem to be not conducive to my overall goal. And a lot of times you want to try to kill those parts off. But sometimes they don't go anywhere, right? Sometimes it's the way that your brain is wired. So we all have a little bit of chaos inside of us. You know, it's funny. We tend to think of, like, let's say a car as a single thing, right? It's a noun. Despite the fact that it would be more appropriate to classify it as a collective, because it's a collective of things, right? It's a ton of different materials that are in themselves a bond of different elements. And so there's all kinds of things that actually go into making this one thing. Well, in a similar respect, you most likely view yourself in much the same way. You act as if the self is one thing, and you call that thing you. Yet you are actually the sum total of many things. And I've talked about this idea of multiple levels of analysis in you, right? In the self. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. There are many layers. Now, one of the layers that make you are the competing states of chaos and order. Because there's a side of you that is madness. It's intoxicating, trammeled, insatiable, total disarray. But yet all of that confusion is often met with a side that's all beauty. It's forthrightness, it's stable, it's goal-oriented, it's a completeness. Of all of the things that make you up, none are more diametrically opposed than those of chaos and order, right? It's like there's a part of you that wants to go for the goal and a part of you don't want to do shit. Your life is on the line and its trajectory is influenced by which side is winning at the time. Now, this is not something that you have the luxury of avoiding or pretending doesn't exist, because regardless of how well built a foundation is, it can always be torn apart by a hurricane with the right amount of willpower. You must keep track of all of the parts of you that take up residency in your being and be ready to slay them when the time is right, or to speak to them. Now, if you take the path of avoidance, then they take the path of residency. And that's how that works. If you avoid the parts of you that maybe don't make you so excited about who you are, then they take up residency and then they come out in your personality. If you guys remember, I did a show about shadows a while ago, and that's literally exactly what I was talking about. You try to suppress certain parts of you that you don't like and you try to avoid them, but then they just come back up in the worst way. Now, if you let the wrong side of you win at the wrong time, you'll most likely find that you actually don't like who you're becoming. Should be lazy, uninspired, impossible to be around. Yet, if you let the monsters win at the right time, there's an element of admiration for the savagery, right? So there's a time to be a monster. There's a time to be a beast. The gym might be that time. It's knowing all of the different parts of you, what tools are at your disposal, and which ones are going to be the most useful at which times. And here lies the fundamental reason for being aware of all that comprises you. We are all navigating a chaotic world, but those who do it best know when to oppose the chaos inside and when to assimilate with it. At the end of the day, it is radical self-awareness that is going to be your best bet to get you down the road to where you want to go. And you have to keep track of all of the parts of you that threaten to ruin the dream. We all from time to time experience this overwhelming urge to do what we know is not good for us. We date the same person that's not going to work out, and we know that. We accept the same standard for our life that's lower than we deserve, and we typically know that. And we eat the same food that makes us look and feel in a way that we're not happy with. It's just part of the human condition. We are fighting lots of biological baggage in order to show up in the world how we want, right? And furthermore, in order to have our genes be expressed in a way that we would actually want. Because you got to stay tight and not let your guard down, not even for a second. Because we're all vulnerable to letting the worst of us get the best of us. Again, the reason I'm saying this is because it's something that I struggle with quite a bit. And I know that if I'm struggling with it, somebody else is as well. Because I'm so driven and I want to get to where I want to be. I'm very goal oriented. Yet there's a part of me that always seems to be resisting that goal or fighting against it. And knowing myself and knowing how to set my environment up in a way and how to structure my schedule and my routines and my habits in a way that allow me to sidestep that chaos inside. That is where real success finds. Because if not, every time you move forward, you're going to backslide, right? Because the two sides of you are competing. And that's why most of us don't actually get very far in life, because our sides are competing, and because we are using our energy to go back and forth, we're not actually going forward. I'm sure you can think about your own life, and I'm sure you can think about the parts of you that aren't showing up in the best way. You got to show up for yourself. You got to remind yourself what you want. You've got to try to overcome the parts of you that would rather not have it. Because the last thing that you want is the direction of your life to be dictated by the parts of you that aren't in line with your goals or what success looks like for you. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later on Morning Coffee.
I want to love you, but if it's not right, what can I do? Everything gon' be alright. So baby, get some sleep tonight.
I wish we could just pretend to be like we always were before, as happy as the Kennedys. No one told Jackie about Marilyn's tendencies. Ignorance is bliss when you're married half a century. Life is too short, trying to hold it all together. It's gone before you know it, but tonight could last forever. I wrote it out on paper, but forgot to mail the letter. And you could walk away, but you won't find nothing better. It's whatever, I just hope that you remember. Then I said some shit that upset her. Arguing in public, talking loud as Big Sweater. She said, you're always gone. I said, the fuck do you expect from me? Then she looked at me and she said to me,
I want to love you, but if it's not right, what can I do? Everything gon' be alright. So baby, get some sleep tonight.
Maybe in some other lifetime or somewhere down the road we might meet up at the right time. Girls come with the profession when you write rhyme. Caught me and she told me I'm a pig, like I fight crime. Well, maybe G is just an asshole, fucking around with bitches, alfalfa little rascal. Swear my intentions aren't as evil as you think, but temptation's always pushing people to the brink. Fuck, I always lose my judgment when I drink. My only wish is you would settle down and hear me out. I know I haven't been completely honest and devout. It's difficult for me, these girls try to seek me out. I try to talk it out, but this was all she speak about. She said,
I want to love you, but if it's not right, what can I do? Everything gon' be alright. So baby, get some sleep tonight.
Swift tonight turns out to be the last night before you pieced and walked out on me. Let's let it all hang out like a balcony. One last time, the best is what you're about to see. So make it worth it tonight, only so you know I never hurt you in spite. Love me like you never will again, it's our last time. Tonight forget about the past time.
Everything gon' be alright. So baby, get some sleep tonight.